Hi, Jay Arthur again. And here's another couple of the biggest mistakes I see everyone makes in Excel charts. So if you have some data and we turn that into like a line graph, one of the things Excel does, which I find annoying, is it puts a bunch of stuff in here that's really unnecessary. All right? And this is known as Chartjunk. All right? Chartjunk. And so what we want to do is eliminate all this chart junk. So we could get rid of this legend over here because it really doesn't add any value. We know it's 2015 sales. And then there's all these grid lines here which simply clutter up the chart. And so now we've started to get to a clean chart. All right? And so this is a nice way to get started. But then another thing I find is people don't actually label things in useful ways. So for example, we could come in here and say, well, this is actually dollars, and so we'd show dollars on the left-hand side, but we really don't need to know dollars with all those decimal places. If we double-click on the left-hand axis, that'll bring up our ability to change some of these things. So our number, we can change that to 0 decimal places. And if we wanted to change our starting points, end points, and whatever that is, we could change the upper and lower spec limits so that it settles out better. Does that make any sense? And then sometimes we don't actually label what these things mean. So we might actually want to label the axes, and so we can go to our layout and say axis titles, and we want to have a primary axis title below the axis, and we want to add one on the vertical axis as well. All right, so now we have the vertical axis title, and we can change that to say sales in $100,000 marks, or right, something like that. And on the lower axis title, we could change that to be 2015. So now we have a chart that's properly labeled. And one of the things I find is most people fail to do this properly, and so later you come back and you can't tell what the chart means. Right? So get rid of the chart junk, label your charts appropriately, and that'll simplify and streamline people's ability to absorb the information in your chart.